own the real estate all around the arena. Restaurants are packed every night. There's a beautiful hotel across the street from the arena that they just built. It's about to open. Everything is going great. And just sell. Why would the owner of the Milwaukee Bucks, Mark Lazary, sell? While we were out here in the spring, who's going to win the MVP? What's the seed of the Lakers going to get? Are they going to avoid the play-in? Something very important happened in the NBA. And that was that Mark Lazary, self-made billionaire, took a look around and said, I think I'm going to get out, even though I might be passing up the opportunity to hold the trophy in a couple of months. And that was a very important thing that happened. Why did he do that? Why did Mark Lazary sell? Well, number one, he got a great price. He got $3.2 billion valuation. He bought the team 10 years ago for $700. That's a tremendous cash out to Jimmy Haslam. But look, NBA teams go up in value. The idea that you sell after a decade and make good money isn't breaking. One of the big reasons he sold was because he saw a storm cloud on the horizon with this team. And the first clap of thunder just happened. They had to fire Mike Budenholzer because they realized how much of a precarious situation that they're in, and Budenholzer had to take the fall after the way they went out in the first round. They have 2 free agents, assuming that Chris Middleton is going to opt out of his contract for next year, which all signs point to. They have 2 free agents in their 30s that they have to deal with, Middleton and Lopez. Now, they are into the luxury tax for Peter for the first time. They are going to be paying way more money in taxes starting immediately, to the point where I question whether or not they're going to be able to re-sign Lopez and Middleton just for the sheer fact of what it's going to cost. This is not the Clippers. This is not the Warriors. This is not the Nets. Their ownership doesn't have $70 billion, okay? The second thing is the rules have come into play that really makes it hard for teams like the Bucks to build out their roster. It is not a guarantee that they're going to keep these guys. And then you have Giannis. You have a chicken and egg thing situation here. In September, he has an option to extend his contract. Now, he has said nothing, but I love Milwaukee and I want to be in Milwaukee. There is no indication he has given that he wants to leave. But if he doesn't extend, it's a major red flag for what's going on with the organization. And he's going to sit there and watch whether they're going to sign Lopez and Middleton, and I'm not sure they're going to be able to do it. And then now you got to go find a coach. And you'd think this is a great job. You're coming in, replacing a guy who lost in the first round. You have the team that had the best record in the league. Are they going to have the same team? Are they going to lay out hundreds of millions, including in taxes, for Middleton and Lopez? I don't know. Is Giannis going to extend? I don't know. And that uncertainty is what the league is watching right now. The New York Knicks, for example, they got 97% of their attention on the Miami Heat. 3% of their attention on Milwaukee. What's going on over there? What's going on over there? And now, I was in Cleveland with LeBron James. LeBron James was a non-renewable resource for Cleveland. When he walks out the door, he's not coming back. In Milwaukee, Giannis Antetokounmpo is a non-renewable resource. When he leaves, when Kareem left, they didn't go back to the finals for over 40 years. So I would say that the Bucks might do everything they possibly can and exhaust themselves to keep this together. But I don't know what's going to happen. And that uncertainty is one of the biggest storylines in the NBA.
I appreciate that, Wendy. Touches my heart. You know, as I sat there and I listened to you, I was waiting. I knew that you was going to break it down. I appreciate that. You know, covering the NBA, I knew where you were going. But I was waiting, Wendy. I was waiting for you to bring up my New York Knicks. Because you see, after, not this summer, but as of next summer, big perk, Wendy, the New York Knicks are in a position to trim $60 million off of their cap. They'll have enough money. Now, obviously, Giannis will be locked in, and obviously it would involve a trade. And we all know that the Milwaukee Bucks will still have his rights because I think Giannis got 2 years and then a player option, 3 years from now. But I think it's important to point out that the world that we're living in, when the stars want out, they find a way to get out. And so I think about Giannis, and I think about being in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, a fabulous city, by the way. But it's interesting that we talk about this because as I look at the Milwaukee franchise, especially how they folded, we're thinking about Budenholzer. Most regular season wins, most postseason wins. 3 years, he had the top record in the league, even though all 3 years they didn't win the championship that year. I still contend they wouldn't have won the championship the 1 year they did if Kevin Durant wore a size 12 instead of size 13. I think they would have won the championship. Brooklyn would have won that series, and I think they would have won it all personally. That's just my personal opinion. But as I look at that landscape and I pay attention to that, the New York Knicks, if you're Giannis, don't you see these commercials now with Giannis? You see Giannis doing little commercials? Then he got to go back to Milwaukee. And instead of playing in Tinseltown or playing in the Big Apple, playing in the Mecca, or playing in a major market or what have you, he got to be in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Drew Holiday was his teammate, obviously did an exceptional job this regular season, then ran into Jimmy Buckets, and it was a different animal. Chris Middleton hasn't looked the same since his injury. Brook Lopez looked really damn good during the regular season, and then came playoff time, he looked as slow as a snail, even though he had one game where he dropped 36 points. And I don't understand how Budenholzer didn't have it in the game. On that game win in Milwaukee when Jimmy Buckets sit up there and pushed off and put in that game time basket. My only point in saying all of that is to say this. The New York Knicks, a respectable franchise these days, moving on up.
Say that.
Moving on up. Okay? It is New York. And if and Kendrick Perkins, before you just shove aside this notion, I ask a rhetorical question and handing it off to you. Would Kyrie Irving and Kevin Durant be gone if they had decided to wear a Knicks uniform instead of Brooklyn? Because when you consider the brand that is the Knicks and the money that comes with it, the success, that what you're able to benefit from, there's no question that if you're Giannis, you're thinking about that. And if it ain't L.A., it's New York. I don't rule out
these games. If they come out of this 3-1, they got it. If they come out of it 2-2, we're in for a fight, and I like the chances for the Warriors. I think they pour out their energy with LeBron and AD over the weekend in L.A.
So that's what you're looking at. You're looking at the two games as a set. If one of these teams can take both of those games, you say it's over.
I think the Warriors come back 2-2. They're sitting pretty.
Can they pour out their energy and get the results you want?
That's what they did against Memphis. Game 1, they win.
Memphis winning?
Game 2.
And I love Memphis. Y'all know I love Memphis.
I know, but that's their strategy. That's their strategy. I mean, it wasn't like they weren't trying. Last night, like as CJ said, he could see it. For me, it was when Tristan won the game. Our colleague here yesterday. That's when I knew it was over. But CJ could see it. He saw them in the third quarter go, all right, it's not going to happen. Let's start. Game 3 started in the middle of the third quarter.
But here's the thing, Wendy. Can they, right? Like, I hear what you're saying in terms of let's conserve energy. This game is a wrap, game 2. The cadence is Saturday, Monday.
Yeah.
I understand the importance of it. But it's still Saturday, Monday. It's still AD and LeBron.
But there's something about sleeping in your own bed.
Okay.
There's something about having your chef prepare your meals. There's something about that drive that Bron's going to take in whichever car he likes to the arena.
Okay.
He's getting one of these games. We all know that.
I agree he's getting
one of them. The problem is the series is going to stretch longer and longer. It's going to go every other day. And I think what I've noticed and that we all notice is that what the Warriors did is sustainable. They can play fast. They can make threes, whether they're tired or fresh. The Lakers can play fast, but they're not going to be making threes historically, right? And that's the
Warriors are not perfect. They lose focus and they have turnovers. I mean, to me, I see what the Lakers are doing. They're going all to the wall to try to get it to 3-1.
So game 4 is the series.
I guess my thing is like that. We can talk about whether that's a good strategy or not, but do they even have a choice? Like, is this just sort of how they're set up?
Right.
They have to.
No, they don't got to.
Right.
No. With their age and usage historically, they have to play this way, especially AD, right? We understand he's playing through some injuries. We understand Bron probably needs surgery. They're playing 40-plus minutes. Bron has been in the playoffs since I was in middle school. Like it's a lot on the body. Like it's a lot. Yeah. It's frustrating, but what they have to understand is that this is a team where you give them too many opportunities. And the Warriors, although they're not a great road team, I've said this before, it's not hard to play in Los Angeles. The hardest part is before the game and after the game.
Even in the playoffs.
Even in the playoffs.
People going out after the game.
Delilah, what's the other spot called?
Yeah, don't start.
I do not know.
Don't start me lying. Look, listen, this is going to be fun. This is going to be an incredible series. But even if we start thinking beyond this series, game 1 we talked about feeling both gifted and robbed because they're meeting too early. Like, whoever gets out of the series, I mean, that's going to be very daunting as you look ahead to a Nuggets team that could end up with a
So
gentleman's
you're saying
team.
the Suns are cooked.
Oh, we're going to get to that a little bit later in the show.
The sun is setting, child. It's terrible.
But in terms of, we're going to get to Suns.